What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at this brand new 2021 Audi RS5 Sportback. Huge shout out and thank you to Audi Greenville for providing this RS5 for today's video. Check out the link to their website in the description below. They have a huge selection of the 2021 Audi lineup and a ton of the RS models. And the model that we're looking at today is finished off in glacier white metallic and has an MSRP at $85,000. Underneath the hood, this utilizes a 2.9 liter twin turbocharged 6-cylinder engine. It cranks out 444 horsepower and 442 pound-feet of torque. The engine is paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission and sends the power to all four wheels through the Quattro all-wheel drive system. And with a curb weight just over 4,000 pounds, you're looking at 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds with a 174 mile/hour top speed once you lift the governor. The overall length is 188.3 inches with a wheelbase at 111.3. The height is 55.1 with width at 73.5 inches. And then being the RS5, of course, we have a performance-oriented braking system. We have ventilated and drilled rotors all around, and we have 6-piston brake calipers up front. The front rotors are 14.8 inches and the rears measure in at 13 inches. And running off a 15.3 gallon fuel tank, you're looking at 18 miles per gallon in the city with 25 out on the highway. Taking a look at the exterior now, this car has the black optic carbon package, which gives it a lot of gloss black accents throughout. We have a blacked out Audi logo as well as the RS5 logo blacked out. There's a huge mesh grille up front, giving it a very aggressive design, and you're also going to notice carbon fiber trim pieces on the farthest sides of the front bumper. There's safety sensors in the farthest sides as well, with gloss black trim around that. There's also a carbon fiber splitter in the center portion of the bumper that protrudes forward. And then we have Audi's LED headlights with LED daytime running lights, and they blend seamlessly into the front end to give it a modern design. You can also see sharp body lines going into the hood, and the hood spans all the way from one tire to the next to make it a seamless transition with limited body lines, and it really makes the front of the RS5 look extremely wide. And then moving to the side profile, you can see these 20-inch wheels finished off in a two-tone metallic gray machined silver. They have a 5-spoke design that looks really cool with the shape of the car. There's a sharp body line going around the wheel arches to emphasize the size. And you can also see a trim piece on the top part of the front fender with RS5. There's a sharp body line flowing from the front end all the way through the side profile of the car, and it protrudes outwards a little bit over the rear wheels to give it a wider appearance in the back. You also have another sharp line in the lower portion of the doors and another carbon fiber trim piece. This car features body colored door handles and carbon fiber mirror caps with an integrated LED turn signal. And then you can see black trim around all of the windows and a gloss black roof for the panoramic sunroof. And the Sportback has that beautiful design as everything flows to the rear end, giving this a fantastic side profile. And then making our way to the rear end of the RS5, you can see the third brake light all integrated into the upper glass back here. We also have a carbon fiber lip spoiler on the top portion of this trunk. There's a blacked out Audi logo and RS5 logo. And then this has LED taillights with a very sharp design. They flow very seamless to the rear end and add to the aggression. There's 4 more parking sensors in the back and a gloss black rear diffuser with carbon fiber trim going from one side to the next, and then finishing it up with your massive dual chrome tip exhaust. So there's a good look at the 2021 Audi RS5 Sportback. I think the white looks fantastic, especially with all the carbon fiber and black accents. So now we have Audi's key fob keeping the vehicle locked. All I have to do is go up to the door handle and grab it. It'll automatically unlock and we can check out the interior. This car is finished off with a black leather interior, and you'll also notice carbon fiber and white stitching all around. If we take a look at the door panel now, you can see carbon fiber and Alcantara on it. We even get some leather and stitching on your armrest, all of your window and mirror controls, and then your grab handle. We have the door release, lock and unlock, and then the memory seating. Down below that, we have the liftgate release and some storage, and then part of the Bang & Olufsen audio. We have RS5 on the door sill, and then making our way inside, you can see these beautiful seats with all the power controls on the left side. And we have a manual release for this leg rest, which is a really cool touch. And then the beautiful stitching design to the entire backs. Very cool look. You can see the aggressive bolsters, RS5 up top, single piece back to make them a little bit more sporty, and then spinning around to a perforated leather steering wheel with aluminum trim. And then now inside the RS5, keeping my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and fire it up. Taking a look at the steering wheel now, over on the right side we have some Bluetooth and audio controls as well as the heated steering wheel and your RS mode. If I toggle that, you can see how this LCD display changes, puts it into the most performance oriented mode. Also gives it a really cool exhaust sound when you put it into RS2 now. Much more aggressive, as you can hear. And then going back into the normal mode, on the left side we have all the controls for the actual LCD screen, and then we have steering wheel mounted paddle shifters that have a really nice look. Taking a look at the screen now, we have your tach over on the left with your fuel, and then on the right side we have your speedometer. Right in the center now we can scroll down through this menu. You can see a lot of different information that comes up, and then I can toggle over to view radio and phone, and then into the navigation. And then if I tap the view icon, it goes to the full screen, which is a really cool design for Audis, and then tapping it again for the normal mode. Over on the left side of the steering wheel we have more carbon fiber around the headlight controls and one of the air vents and some gloss black trim. Moving our way across the dashboard, you can see a really cool design going all the way through this dash with more carbon fiber and the Quattro logo. And then taking a look right at the center now for the navigation display, very HD graphics. You can swipe left and right and configure everything and see all the different settings that'll come up. And then along the left side we have a few different shortcuts for radio and audio, and then your different phone settings as well as the navigation that can come up as well. And then if I go ahead and put the vehicle into reverse, the backup camera will automatically come up. You can see all of your guidelines over on the left and then parking sensors on the right side. And just tapping this, you can turn it on and off, same with the volume for the sensors, and then adjust everything. And then hitting the P button back into park now. Underneath the screen we have more air vents and more of this carbon fiber, and then all of your climate controls are right in the center here. I like how everything's laid out. You have dual zone climate control with a nice LCD display, heated seats as well, all your defrost. And then for all these different toggles, once you touch them, it actually comes up with different modes that you can actually change to kind of make it a little bit easier and simple. You can easily toggle this up and down to change the different zones, air conditioning on and off, fan speed right in the center, and then more controls on the right. Beneath all that, we have your drive select button. You can toggle these buttons up and down for dynamic, auto, and then comfort mode. Then you have traction control and parking sensors. We have a USB port and 12 volt right in the center with more of this really nice carbon fiber all around it, 2 cup holders and some storage. And then the volume power button is over on the right side with more storage. We have the shifter right here with all the different drive modes and the electronic park and brake. And then a little bit more storage down below here with a leather armrest. Opening this up, you can see the wireless phone charging mat and all the storage. And this even slides forward to have it a little bit more comfort for your armrest. And then over on this right side for the glove box, opening that up now, we have a huge amount of space. Very nice to see in a vehicle like this. And then one last look at the overall interior, very nicely laid out with all the LCD screens and the carbon fiber. The leather is amazing looking with the stitching and Alcantara. Definitely loving the interior. And then we have a black ceiling with the sunroof right there. And then all of your LED dome lights and controls. And then to take a look at the rear seat space, we can go ahead and open up the door. The door panel is finished off just like we saw up front, and these are pillarless doors which add to the sporty design. Moving inside now, we have the same leather back here with all the smooth leather, and then this beautiful quilted stitching design with white stitching. Really nice 3-seater back here. We get a little bit of cargo space behind the front seats. All of your climate controls as well with heated rear seats, and then USB ports in the lower section. Alright, hopping into the back seat now of the RS5 Sportback. This is a pretty roomy car. I'm 5'11". I have the driver's seat set at my height, and you can see I have a few inches of knee room, and my feet are fitting very comfortably. I have a little bit of headroom as well, a few inches, and the ceiling actually bubbles up to give you that extra space. Armrest is in a really good place, and you have a good view out for even having that aggressive sloping design. It doesn't feel tight in here at all. And then even taking a look at the center, you can open this up and you get an extra armrest. And then pulling these forward, you actually have 2 cup holders back here and a little bit of storage. And then onto the storage, you can double tap on the key fob or press the button on the liftgate or the one on the interior. We have a ton of space in here, very similar to an SUV. You can see how everything is laid out, very squared off for larger items that you're gonna fit. And then by just pressing the buttons on the backs of the seats, they can fold down nice and flat, and you can see just how much storage space we have in the back. Opening up the doors again, you can see how they fold down. So for the RS5 Sportback, a little bit larger than a sedan, definitely extremely usable. All right guys, so we are setting off now in the 2021 Audi RS5 Sportback. I have always been a fan of this vehicle. When it first came out, I thought it was super cool. I love the RS7, but this car is a little bit more tame, a little bit smaller, and a lot cheaper. So I think this is a really good blend for those who want the RS7, but want something a little bit more affordable. This car, I think, just looks amazing with the white. So we're in the comfort mode right now. We'll just get up to some speed and feel it out as far as just the normal driving. Got a nice little turn as we accelerate. you can already tell this is an RS model. It's not just an A5 with a bigger engine. You can actually feel some of the bumps, and they really transfer to the vehicle so you know what's going on. Not to say it's a back-breaking ride or anything like that, but this is certainly a sporty car comparing it to a standard one. But as far as comfort goes, the steering wheel, I love the perforated leather. Armrests are in a perfect place. And then the seat, you have a ton of configurations to really get it perfect. I like the leg rest as well. View out is fantastic. You have a really large windshield. Looking through all of your mirrors, you have a really good view behind you. And then actually over your left and right shoulder, you have a really good view. There's not really any blind spots, even over the right shoulder. That seat pillar isn't too big to where you can't see, so I really like that. And then as far as just wind noise and road noise, you don't really hear anything. It's a pretty quiet car. Of course, it's an Audi, it's a solid vehicle. So with that said, if we bump it over into the manual mode and then toggle this, we can put us into dynamic mode, and we are in manual now. And if I tap the RS2 button, everything is in the most performance oriented. You can see the torque readout. Not really too much of an exhaust sound in the stock configuration, but it's nice and peppy, just giving it quarter throttle. I really like the aggressive dash that you see. The paddle shifters and the transmission are super responsive, doing some downshifts. Wow, and even taking a sweeping turn. Wow, that is so flat. I love that. This feels like a performance car, which is something super awesome. And then coming into a hairpin turn, downshifting a little bit on the brakes. Those brakes do a really good job. Steering is nice and nimble. And of course, being all-wheel drive, you have that four-wheel drive to really get you up and going, depending on the circumstance. And I think, obviously, the Audi Quattro is an amazing system. Coming to a stop sign now, just getting back up to some speed on a smoother road. Wow. The turbos kick in around 3,000 RPM, and of course short shifting on a new car, but it really does put you back in your seat, even quarter throttle. And I like if you give it some gas and let off, you can feel the car kind of jolt a little bit. It's definitely a very responsive vehicle. And I like it a lot. So with that said, I guess we'll tone it down, automatic mode, and put us back into the comfort mode. And the whole car kind of tones down. The transmission is much less aggressive. It's pretty tame. Suspension chills out a little bit as well. It's much more comfortable. Idling now doesn't make a sound. And it's very nice and gradual getting back up to speed. So as far as the interior, using the interior as you are actually driving, I love how HD all the displays are, even coming down to the climate control. These are so easy to read, and I love how when you just touch them, it comes up with a bigger menu, so you don't have any clutter or anything distracting you until you actually need to use it. You can see what your different modes are. I think that is a really cool touch, just to keep it simple. And then the little dials you get, I love that aspect. Taking a look at the actual touchscreen now, I think you have really big font. It's easy to read everything, the way everything is laid out. I think Audi did a good job. Then the overall interior, I mean, the materials you touch, everything is high quality, beautiful leather, the armrest, every single thing you touch and feel in this vehicle seems like a nice high quality part. Carbon fiber everywhere. I mean, this is a nice car. This is definitely something for the perfect daily driver. Even if you have a family or something, you can put kids in the back. The trunk space is really large as well, so you can definitely use it for pretty much anything that you're gonna wanna do. So then on a back road, I'm just gonna go ahead and tap the RS2 mode. Instantly puts us into a more performance-oriented drive mode rather than toggling down to dynamic. So I like how you can configure the car and really just make it one click into the fun mode and then one click back to normal. But on a nice little twisty road, you forget that you're in technically a hatchback or even a station wagon. This is a sports car now, and it just really separates you from what's going on behind you in the car. Now I feel like I'm in just a nice Audi sports car. Wow, it's such a healthy motor. Man, the steering is much heavier and tighter now. Man. Well, unfortunately, I guess that is then it for test driving the 2021 Audi RS5 Sportback. I've always wanted to drive one of these, and this is the first opportunity I have had. Huge shout out and thank you to Audi Greenville for providing this vehicle for today's video. Check out the link to their website in the description below. They have a really large selection of all the 2021 Audis, so definitely check them out. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next video.